Hi, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. My name is Patrick Arnold. I'm one of the co-founders of Strive Africa. And in pursuit of our mission to help talented and ambitious students realize their dreams by studying in the US, we are here for our weekly study break to share some insights into how you can set yourself apart and strengthen your application. Today, we're going to talk about identifying your leadership and community service skills and opportunities so that you can show that you are a committed student to not just the academic side of your collegiate journey, but also your impact side as well. This is something that for students who are in high schools, especially in African countries, it might not be a big part of your experience. You might be focused on grades, you might be focused on clubs, you might be focused on sports, and these are all good things. But what we're suggesting is that there are some additional things that you can do during your school experience in Africa in order to bolster your application to be stronger and more exciting than maybe the average application. So today we're going to go through a couple of different points about how you can think about this before you start working on your application. Because when you are submitting your application, that's the summary of your best foot forward. If you wait until you're starting your application to do some of these things, it might be a little bit too late. So what we wanted to emphasize for identifying your unique experiences, commitment, and impact are first. Number one is you should identify unique community service opportunities, right? You should seek out or create projects or ways to get involved to meet a specific need in your community. This could involve improving local education, environmental issues, perhaps on healthcare access. The whole point is to look at a need that exists in your community, maybe an underserved population, maybe it's a group of people who could benefit from volunteerism or volunteers or talent or just the energy that young people have. You can find those opportunities and you can start plugging into them. The important thing is to try to identify some projects that it makes sense for you based upon your interest, based upon your skills, based upon your background. Find something that makes sense for you and make sure that it connects with the community need as well. The idea is that you're not just doing some community service only to bolster your college application, but it should be genuine and unique so that you are finding ways to have an authentic and positive impact within the community. And number two, it's really important to demonstrate sustained commitment, right? So we want to think about community service and volunteering and leadership as something that's not just you did this one thing one time, right? That doesn't really demonstrate your long-term community impact. But if you have a sustained set of volunteer activities where you're helping a community to meet a specific need, that shows that you are committed to community well-being. You're committed to addressing community needs, and you're interested in something that requires sacrifice, discipline, commitment over time. These are the things that colleges and universities are looking for in your application. And so instead of just writing about how you want to have impact in the future, you can write, here's how you've had impact in the past. It's important too, if you're demonstrating your sustained commitment, to keep a record of your service. Think about the hours that you've committed, the roles that you held, the leadership activities that you undertook, how you went about an activity, what your role was, why you did it, who you worked with, and any milestones or achievements, right? You should think about documenting this so you can include it in your essay and show that this is sustained over time. Number three, we really want you to showcase your leadership roles and skills. And we want to encourage you to take on leadership roles within your community service, whether it's by leading a project, coordinating other volunteers, maybe championing some fundraising efforts, or sharing with the community at large some of the needs of the organizations that you're working with, so that you are demonstrating not just that you are doing the bare minimum by showing up and doing some volunteer work, but most importantly, that you are taking leadership in action. These are the skills that universities are going to be very excited about offering to enroll students who have these types of skills. And you want to really highlight what you learned from this leadership set of activities. Are there things that maybe were challenging, but then you push through them? You could identify areas where you demonstrated perseverance, which is a skill and an aptitude that colleges are very interested in nurturing. Are there things that you were struck by that were interesting or hard for you, and then you thought if you could come up with a creative solution that might make the situation better? These are the examples that are really helpful to demonstrate in your essays and your supplemental activities as well. And point four, we really want to recommend that you quantify your impact, right? So we want to think about if you're volunteering in a community or you're demonstrating leadership, how many people were benefited? What is the extent of the impact that you had in terms of trying to advance a certain agenda or a certain impact around the environment or health or education? If you can try to quantify that in terms of how you contributed to something being better, it really shows that your leadership and your efforts were helpful in advancing that cause. You want to also maybe document some specific stories about the people that you worked with, the collaborators or community members that were a part of that experience. What happened as a result of your collaboration? Why was it important to the organization or the community? And how did your efforts actually make a difference? These can be tangible so that they are memorable to admissions officers. In point five, we want you to make sure that you're incorporating your community service and leadership into your essays, right? So you can weave these stories into your personal statements, not just only to demonstrate your commitment and skills, but also to provide a fuller picture of your character and values. As you're starting to learn, or hopefully have learned, your essays are much more than just your resume and your grades, but it's something that's more nuanced and detailed. And these are the types of examples that can be really powerful and compelling. And then point number six, we recommend that you seek recommendations that highlight your service and leadership. Make sure that your supervisors or collaborators or points of contact with these organizations are able to acknowledge your contributions. So first, before you're seeking the recognition, you have to do a good job. It's really important to work hard and follow through your commitments. But assuming you've done that, make sure you get good documentation around that so that recommendations can be supportive of you as an individual, whether it's for your undergrad admission or your graduate admission. These are the type of examples that show that you are well prepared to be a leader, not just now, but into the future as well. So just to summarize here, these 6 points, you really want to start early and develop your expertise in engaging with communities, because one, it's just a good thing to do to help make your communities better, but also that these stories, these impact areas can really have a great set of ways to strengthen your application. So done well, this can be really a win-win. It's a win for the community where you're working, and it's a win for your college acceleration and catalyzing process. But the point is, do something that you feel like you can have an impact. Try to feel like you meet commitments. Do so over a sustained amount of time. And then finally, reflect and learn from your experience. And these can help you set yourself apart during your application process, because the culture of community service, leadership, and volunteerism might not be equal across all the places in Africa where students are applying from. So this is one way you can rise to the top of the stack as admissions officers are reviewing your application file. There's so many things that you can do, but leadership and community service is definitely one that we recommend. And it's never too early to start because it can help you clarify the things you want to do, the things you want to study, the type of experiences you want to have academically and professionally in the future. So start early, make an impact, build relationships, quantify that impact, and have some great stories that you can share in the future and building blocks. So hopefully this study break will help everyone feel a little bit more prepared to be community service leaders and to strengthen their application. Thanks for tuning in today. Strive Africa is really excited about supporting your journey for higher education in the United States. And please share this if you think others would benefit from it. Thanks and take good care.